Hello, early learners, and welcome back to the Art Room. It's me, Mrs. Read-Wright. Let's start off with our hello song. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello to you, hello to you, hello to you, hello to me. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. It is Mystery Monday, and I do have the suitcase, but since we already know we're doing the alphabet for the next 21 days, we don't need to look inside because we know what our topic is. But let's see this alphabet song for this week. It goes like this. A, B, C, D, E of art. That's the way that we will start. F is for fish. Goldfish starts with a G. H is for house, now don't you see? I is for insect, jar starts with J, art and the alphabet, what do you say? So you know we're going to do things about fish 2 days. We're going to do something about insects and houses and about a jar. So we have a lot of things to do, and we're going to be using some materials that you may not have used before. We're using a straw today. I brought one that's striped. If you don't have a straw, you'll just use your breath because we're just going to move some paint around. But let's talk about who we are meeting today. And it's an old friend that we know from before when we did Senecio, that big-headed man. It was done by Paul Klee. Now, Paul Klee, remember we learned that his name is spelled K-L-E-E, but we say Klee. And here he is in his studio, and he painted this. Let's hear the rhyme about fish. It says, Paul Klee painted these colorful fish. You can create them any color you wish. So, most of his paintings were small and colorful, and he was known as an artist that did things in a childlike way. Remember, he was born in Switzerland, and he came from a family of musicians, and he was a musician for a long time, and his grandma gave him that box of chalks, and he thought doing chalk art was way more fun than being a musician. And his wife was a piano teacher, and he used to do his art in their kitchen, and she would teach piano, and he did over 9,000 pieces of art before he passed away. So let's take a look at his art and what we're going to be doing. This art was actually done by scratching. We're not going to do that because when I was a little girl in my art class, we did the scratch art and the classroom became a huge mess because what you do is you paint your paper and then you cover the whole thing with black crayon. So hard, you keep coloring till you can't see any color beneath the black crayon. Then you get a paper clip and you scratch through the black crayon and it unveils or uncovers the color below. So in this picture, the fish are all scratched through black paint. And what we're going to do is first make our paper colorful. I did one yesterday so that it would be dry and ready for you to see. But we're going to do one today so that you'll know how to do it. But you won't be able to do the black today because this will have to dry overnight. But I'm going to show you the 2 steps to make the art and a fish. Now look at this paper. You can tell that it didn't get this color by me painting it. I dripped paint on there, and then I took my straw and blew it all over the paper. So if you have a straw and paints today, you can do this with me right now. Otherwise, just save this project for when you're in the kitchen or out on the patio with your paints, and then you can let it dry overnight, and then you'll do the second step. Let me set this over here while I get my fresh paper, and I remember to bring a little bit of newspaper so I don't get so much paint on my little table board. I'll open it up and set it here and put my paper on it. All right, now, I have the fanciest brush you have ever seen. Let me bring it and show you. Look, it has water in the handle, and the water gets pressed up into the brush. It's just a regular brush, but it's filled with water. And what I've done is put a lot of water in my watercolor pans. I don't suggest you do that when you're painting regularly, but to do this project, you need big drops of paint. So I'm dipping into the paint, and then I'm going to drip it on my paper. And I put pretty colors together that will look good together. I'm going to clean my brush in between. I don't want any labels to show here. Let you know what I'm eating and drinking at home. And I'll put this orange next to that red orange and drip, drip, drip it. And I'll bring over some of my yellow because this one doesn't have yellow in it. Some of our watercolors have bright colors, some have primary colors, some have just the secondary colors. So I'm going to put a combination because I think that you'll like to see the yellow mixed in. So let me mix this around and get some paint on here because really it's still just water there. And drip, 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 drip. Now I'm ready to use my straw. And watch, I have this end so I remember. But look, I can do it with my breath. It's harder that way. See how smart I was to put the newspaper on there? Because otherwise it would have flown off onto the floor. Now I'm going to use some different combinations of colors. I have to get the paint off of that part of the brush. I think this turquoise color will be pretty if I put it over here a little bit, because some of my fish might be blue, some might be green, some might be orange. It just depends on what colors I put on my paper and blow around on here. See what I'm doing? Drip, drip, drip. And you can put as many drips as you want. I don't want to get too much paint on here because I don't know how many fish I feel like drawing. So now I use my straw. And if I didn't already have turquoise, when it mixed with the green, it would have made more of a blue-green. I'm going to put some, oh, let's put some purple and magenta together. Drip, drip, drip. And I have to wash my brush and get into the next color. These brushes, I don't even know where they come from. It was in my set of metallic paints I bought, and it was just sitting in there, and I said, what kind of paintbrush is this? And now I want a bunch of them. So I'll find out about them, and I'll put it on my web page. So you have the idea of how this is done. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to do the black part. Now remember, this isn't going to be the scratch kind, but I wanted you to know how that's done. You just put layers and layers of crayon on top of each other. This week, another day, we're going to use a straw too. We're going to blow on some colors too. So make sure if you don't have a lot of straws, just save one for that project. Okay, I'm going to move this over to dry. I don't care if it drips because it's really a drippy artwork. There we go. Go on over here, and I'll bring over the dry one. Let me move the newsprint so that I don't get any paint on any furniture, because you know I'm sitting in a chair that has cloth on it, and if I get paint on it, I didn't bring my cloth cleaner today. I'd have to clean this chair. Set this over here and get the other one up. Now, I will have to draw my fish shapes on top of here. I am using chalk pastels. This is different from the chalk you draw on the sidewalk with. This is artist's chalk, and it's not very expensive if you decide to buy some. So I want my fish, this one, to have purple and magenta. So I'm going to draw the shape that's kind of like an eye, but not close it up at the end. I'll put a triangle at the back side, like that. Now, I will make it a little darker on here because I am going to push the black around, because Clay's work has black all around his fish. There will still be some color showing, but I want to get this here, and you notice I'm putting it down and pushing it out, putting it down on the line and pushing out. Put it on the line, push it out, push it out, push it out. You gotta push, push, push it out. You gotta push, push, push it out. Push, push. Well, now I'm pulling it to me because it's coming toward me. Pull, pull, pull it out. You gotta pull, pull, pull it out. That's my first fish. Let me show you the process that I'm going to use to blend it. With me today, I brought a piece of paper towel and I brought a little wet rag. So watch, if I don't want this black, see how much black got on my fingers? I just rub it on the wet rag. If I need to pick up anything else, and then I dry it on the dry rag and I'm ready. But this is what I'm going to do. If you'd rather put a little paper towel around your finger, let me show you what that would look like. And rub it out that way. Just rub it out from the fish on the edge and out, edge and out, edge and out, 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 out. You see, this process is going to take us a little while. So I'm not rushing, because if I rush and go in too close, I will make my fish all black on the inside, and I don't want to do that. When you work on it, you start on the top and move toward you, because every time you go down, you'll drag your hand across the black. So start at the top and pull down. Now, if I wanted to work down here, I would just move my paper up to the top. I'm going to tap this on here, get some of the chalk off. Now, I also brought a white pen in case I wanted to put any squiggles and wiggles like Paul Clay did on his work. And I'm just making some squiggles and wiggles. You can use a crayon. You can decide what looks best for you. I also brought a black permanent pen so I can give him an eye. I'm going to give him an eye right here and add that to that. And I might even make a little mouth go up. I'm going to do another fish before we have to say goodbye to each other, because I think you might like to see that happen again. Ooh, I'm getting it all under my fingernails. That's going to be a mess when I go somewhere else today. So I might make my fish swimming this way, an eye-shaped. Boys and girls, tomorrow we're going to talk about a goldfish with Henri Matisse. And I want you to bring a pencil, colored pencils, or any coloring tools that you might use. And I will see you then. So let's sing goodbye to one another. Goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me today.
A brand new day, time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.